Hello, my name is Marley Small, and I will be presenting to you about the negative causes with SeaWorld as a company. So, if you don't know, SeaWorld is a very large company and amusement park that's located in Orlando, Florida. Myself, I actually live in Florida and I'm only about 2 hours away. I remember when I was little and I used to be so excited to go and see all the pretty animals, and then I realized when I was watching the show something was off. The whales just were kind of bored and they were very tired, and I feel like they were overworked. So I actually did a little bit more research, and I've been pretty passionate about killer whales in general, like at SeaWorld, and I really don't appreciate what the company is doing. With SeaWorld, I feel like they should be able to use their animals not only to show people, but not as show toys. They should be able to, kids should be able to learn about the actual animal, and the animal should be comfortable in their own environment and no matter what they do. One thing that I think SeaWorld does wrong is they don't focus on the mental stability that their animals have. For example, killer whales were actually losing their minds in the actual spaces that they are in, which I will get to a little bit later on. There was a quote from Schwelling that says they weren't eating them at all. You would find the whole bird just in pieces. So what they are meaning by this is that literally the actual killer whales were going so insane because they felt cooped up. They weren't just eating birds as prey and just as their meal. No, they would just like rip them up into pieces just to focus on something else. So they were going mad. Another thing that SeaWorld doesn't do a great job of is a killer whale's dental hygiene. Everybody's got to have pretty teeth, but orcas, which are also known as killer whales, are have really strong, heavy teeth that are able to grind down to anything in that matter. And basically, SeaWorld grinds down their teeth so it doesn't look as threatening to guests and patrons, and also so it doesn't hurt them in the long run, but instead it's just making the orca in a great deal of pain, and it just looks miserable. I mean, I have a photo that is in the presentation, and it just looks really sad, and you're like, oh my goodness. Another thing is that killer whales actually have dorsal fins. Now, dorsal fins are actually, it's pretty common to see a dorsal fin straight up like you see in the movies. Now, at SeaWorld, you might notice that there's a little bend. Now, with this, it's actually not natural. It's because of the space that they are living in. Like I said, they're very cooped up, and it actually gives them a lot of stress. So it's kind of like a sad fin in a sense. So it can make the actual difference when someone's looking at this animal. You can actually see how sad, quote, their fin may be, and it actually may affect you in another way. So let's get into the orca's home. Think of us as humans living in a bathtub the rest of our life. It's pretty much what an orca is doing. They are living in a fishbowl, and in the wild they are able to swim their lives away, and they don't have that here. They're cooped up, which is not appreciative, especially for SeaWorld as a company. Also, the physical health, this really affects them. PETA actually stated this, but Grow was actually supporting this fact. At least 40 orcas have died at SeaWorld of everything from pneumonia to infection. Now, this is actually really surprising because orcas can actually live longer in the wild, which is not great for us in a sense. And even though SeaWorld says they're animal safe, they really aren't because they're neglecting the animals. And the last thing I'd like to talk about, especially as a Floridian, is sunburns. Sunburns are so important for an animal. They get sunburned all the time, and especially for a killer whale, they are black skin on the top, and they just absorb all of that sun and moisture. And it has to be so hot for them, and just so tiring and so painful. Now, me as a actual Floridian and an animal lover, if SeaWorld sees this, please stop hurting your animals and try and support them once in a while, because people are human too. Or, sorry, animals are human too. And they should support and get the same treatment as we do. That's my opinion. And I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you have a lovely day. Bye-bye.